This is breaking news.
Right now, Mayor Eric Adams is holding a briefing. Let's go to it now.
Everyday New Yorkers, particularly those low-income New Yorkers, and you are the epitome of GSD, get stuff done. And I'm really happy to see my colleagues in government, the law firm of Adams and Adams. It's only the beginning of some of the good stuff that Speaker Adrian Adams and I are going to continue to do together as we go after those hardworking, low-income New Yorkers who slip through the cracks. Assemblyman Gibbs, your story just personifies how the bend in the road is not the end of the road. All you have to do is make the turn, and you are inspiring so many people who are seeing a recovery that is so important. And the amazing leader up in Washington Heights and Bronx, who has fought for us throughout this entire COVID pandemic. My good friend and brother, Brother Adrian Espaillat, who is the congressman in the area. What you guys have done for New York City and bringing home the resources, Congressman, throughout the pandemic, we cannot thank you enough. And Councilwoman Velasquez, it's good to see. They tell me you joining us as well, understanding the importance of this moment that we're in. This is a great day for working families in New York City. We're celebrating the expansion of the Earned Income Tax Credit, something we fought for. We stood in the Bronx together with Assemblyman Gibbs and talked about how do we get this done and how important it was for us to get it done. And now we're actually watching it happen. I remember hearing the compassionate story from Ms. Diaz as she talked about the power of those extra funds for her family. This is something that people often ignore, but we heard you. Not only did we hear you, but our Assembly and Senate delegation, they heard you, and our Councilmatic delegation, they also heard you. You are dealing with electeds that will listen, understand the power of our actions, and to move forward in the right direction. And it was only a few weeks ago that we talked about this. We made a promise and we delivered on that promise. We got it done. The state acted and we have secured an increase in this program for the first time in 20 years. For the first time in 20 years, we are securing this increase. This means an additional city investment of $250 million annually into the EITC program. Speaker, you have to be proud of this. This is a legacy project that you were able to accomplish and partner with us in doing. In New York State, 1 year supplemental payment equates to an estimate one-time $100 million investment for New York City's recipients. You know, the trip to Albany mattered. Our elected officials heard us. The advocacy of our senators and our assembly persons clearly was heard throughout the entire budgetary process. Now, what does this mean on the ground? 800,000 New Yorkers will benefit for this actions. This is extra money in their pockets during a very difficult time. That's money to help pay for food, bills, rent, all of the things that New Yorkers know and deserve to receive. The EITC is a lifeline for far too many. And by allowing this increase, we are extending that lifetime. We heard what a difference it makes every day through the powerful story of those like Rose's story. We hear it all the time. This was something I heard over and over on the campaign trail. There are thousands of New Yorkers out there who are looking for this report, and we're going to continue to provide it. And this is only the beginning of what we're going to do for families who are struggling in this city. Under the city's expansion of the EITC, a single parent with one child with an income of $14,750 will see their benefit increase from $181 to $905, a 400% increase. And under the state supplemental payment for the EITC benefit, it will increase from $1,085 to $1,357. Just think about that for a moment. Every new dollar that comes in assists you in making ends meet every day. For a married couple with 2 kids and an income of $25,000, their New York City benefit will increase from $299 to $897. Real money. That's a 200% increase. And the state supplemental portion from $1,794 to $2,243. I am just really proud on how this is going to help everyday New Yorkers. We are helping working families and giving them the needed support that they deserve. We're leaving no New Yorkers behind as we continue to move forward and protect those who are in need. So many New Yorkers have suffered during COVID-19, but if we're honest, that suffering took place long before a pandemic hit our city. The suffering is generational. We have continuously left too many families behind, families like my family, the family, Rosa's family, and others. It's time to keep them in mind as we make these budgetary priorities, something that the Speaker and I and the leaders in both the Senate and the Assembly, they fully understand. And so I want to thank Governor Hochul. I want to thank the senators and assembly, men and women, and the leaders of both those chambers for helping us get this done for New Yorkers. This will make a real difference. The New Yorkers across the EITC spectrum will know that not only are we going to make the money available, but we are going to give you the support you need to access the money. Far too long, it has been too complicated and too difficult, but we're helping you through that. We're going to ensure that we're there to help you file your taxes with free tax prep. It's available for most family and low and moderate incomes across the 5 boroughs. And it's just the first part of some of the things that we're going to do. And it's crucial that tax season is here on us. New Yorkers can get the assistance that they deserve. Since the exception of our free tax prep program, we have helped over 41,000 joint tax returns, saving people over $5 million in fees. This is how you do it in a real way. And New Yorkers can find more information about these services at newyorkcity.gov/tax prep. And we're going to be on the ground sharing this information with New Yorkers, meeting them where they are, mobilizing our faith-based institutions, our volunteers, our local CBOs, because it's about giving people the information they deserve. And we're providing additional support for New Yorkers through our New York City Financial Empowerment Centers. This is one-on-one professional, confidential financial counseling that helps navigating banking, credit, and debt services. So important to give people information on the ground. It's now, since launching in 2008, our New York City Financial Empowerment Centers, we have assisted over 66,000 New Yorkers, dealing with debt, more than $85 million in debt release. And so you can make an appointment through 311 or by in person to schedule the proper appointment to sit down with the counselor. These are all of the small things we're doing that will help in a big way. And we can't do it alone. We have to do it with the partnerships that are imperative to develop. And the partnerships have been amazing. And I thank my colleagues in government again for understanding that together we can get stuff done. Thank you so much, Commissioner, and I appreciate the work you're doing and the energy you're bringing to this good work.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. It's our pleasure just working with all New Yorkers and helping everybody thrive. And as you mentioned, the other partner of the Adams and Adams firm, our wonderful City Council Speaker, Adrian Adams, please, thank you so much for being here with us today.
It is an absolute honor and a pleasure. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is wonderful to see all of you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you so very much for bringing us together today to celebrate a hard-earned victory on behalf of hardworking New Yorkers and their families. It is a pleasure to see our colleagues in government this morning. Mr. Mayor, they heard us. They heard us. We are now in the third year of this global pandemic that has taken the lives of more than 40,000 fellow New Yorkers. Our city and our communities are still facing myriad challenges even as we seek to accelerate our recovery. Working families are struggling to keep up with rising costs for expenses. Our city is still facing housing and homelessness crises, and many New Yorkers are still having a hard time putting food on their tables. The pandemic has upended so much for New Yorkers, and its economic impact will be felt for years to come. That is why Mayor Adams advocated in Albany for the enhancement of the Earned Income Tax Credit, something that I pushed for as well in Albany when I met with the governor and state legislative leaders. We know that giving more than 800,000 New Yorkers a little more money in their wallets can make all the difference. It will help pay families, pay for their rent, their food, medicine, or many other expenses that continue to pile up. This expansion of the Earned Income Tax Credit is an investment in the health, safety, and well-being of our communities. When we talk about creating stronger, safer communities, we should be supporting families by expanding programs that directly benefit them. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. The other half of Adams and Adams, we appreciate you, your partnership, your advocacy on EITC, and hosting us to celebrate this important victory for hardworking New Yorkers. We will continue to work together on both sides of City Hall to uplift the city's working families, and we will recover from the pandemic and emerge as a stronger, safer, more equitable city. Thank you again for the opportunity to be with you all this morning. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Speaker Adams. And what an honor to also have with us U.S. Representative or Congressman Adriano Espaillat, a fellow Latino. So good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Mayor Adams, Speaker Adams, and of course, Assemblymember Gibbs from East Harlem and Councilwoman Velasquez from the Bronx. This is so important. As you all know, the Earned Income Tax Credit was first established back in 1975, and it was done to offset increasing payroll taxes and increases in energy bills and food bills. And we've seen with inflation an increase in that now. So this enhancement will benefit over 800,000 New York City residents. That's tremendous. That close to 1 million New Yorkers will benefit from this enhancement. And of course, we know that these dollars go a long way. They go around our communities 3, 4, 5 times. They go to the local bodega to get milk and Pampers. They go to the local pharmacy. They go to the local stores, the mom and pop stores that are going through such stress right now because of this pandemic. And they need this kind of infusion of dollars. And it goes right to the pockets of families, and it lifts families from poverty, similar to the child tax credit that we saw how in my congressional district, 77,000 families and over 120,000 children benefited from that tax credit, and it helped lift children from poverty. The Earned Income Tax Credit is laser focused in helping working class New Yorkers. So, Mayor, thank you for your advocacy. I know that those trips to Albany were productive. Speaker, thank you for your advocacy and support for New Yorkers, working class New Yorkers that continue to have a tough time making ends meet. But this particular enhancement will certainly help New York City, those families, and the small business community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Congressman. And I know last time when we were in person talking about this, Assembly Member Gibbs, you were there with us. We were like all like advocating for this to make it happen. And now we get to celebrate. So thank you so much for being back with us to this victory.
I certainly was, and I certainly was excited that day as I am today. But I also want to acknowledge CM member Velasquez. I want to acknowledge my Congress member, the great Adriana Espaillat, and our Speaker Adams, and to you. First, let me start by saying good morning, and I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, for having me today to discuss this major victory for New York families. The pandemic was really hard on families in my district, East Harlem, and in every corner of our city. I went door to door in my district at the height of the pandemic and saw firsthand the economic hardships that my neighbors endured and how difficult it was to pay for basic expenses. As New York comes back stronger, healthier, and more equitable than ever, we cannot leave behind our hardworking families. That's why my colleagues in Albany and I passed a budget that invests directly in everyday New Yorkers and put monies right back into their pockets. And one of the ways it does this is through the enhanced earned income tax credit. This particular enhancement will benefit 800,000 New York City families. And I want you to listen to that number again, 800,000 hardworking families. That is 800,000 families that will have an easier time paying rent. That is 800,000 families that will have an easier time putting food on their tables. That's 800,000 families that will have an easier time paying for the utilities. So I am very appreciative to have a partner in Mayor Adams who shares the goal of investing in working families with an expanded social safety net. Because we all know that when we invest in families, especially the ones who have been forgotten and left behind for too long, we are investing in our city's future. So again, I want to thank you, Mayor Adams. I want to thank you, Speaker Adams, the Adams and Adams Connections, for just coming to Albany and advocating for the everyday New Yorker. We had received you guys, we understood the mission, and we accepted and we passed that budget. So thank you guys for your advocacy. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you so much, Assembly Member. And also back with us today, I think someone who really is, no offense to anyone, but the most special today, right? Because he's a New Yorker that can truly tell us the impact of this advocacy that leaders like our mayor are really pushing through. And that is Rosa Diaz. So Rosa, it's so wonderful to see you again. Thank you for being with us. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rosa Diaz, and New York City's social services have been a lifeline to me and my family. I came to this country in 2000 from Peru and have called myself a proud East Harlem resident ever since, with my 3 beautiful kids, which you saw in person. Last month, I shared my story about how the earned income tax credit helped me provide for my family, paying rent, put food on the table, transportation, and a lot more. The mayor said he would go and fight for families like mine to expand the EITC, and he did. I am so happy to say that Mayor lived up to his promise to getting stuff done. Yes, you did. Thank you. We need these programs to make sure families like mine do not fall through the cracks. Our society, our social safety needs to catch everyone. Thank you, Mayor, for your leadership and working on behalf of working families like mine. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosa. It's really wonderful. And we can't wait, right? As the mayor mentioned, there's about 800,000 families who can really take advantage of this. So we want to hear all of those 800,000 stories of how this initiative, these efforts can make a difference. And now I would love to have Council Member Marjorie Velasquez, Chair of my committee, Consumer and Worker Protection. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to see you.
Muy buenos días, everyone. Today is great. Today is a huge victory, not just for New Yorkers, but we see what it looks like when government works together for the people of New York City. It's so beautiful to be amongst Representative Espaillat, Mayor Adams, Speaker Adams, Assemblymember Gibbs, right? This is what it takes. It takes community building each other up. And it's such a beautiful moment for us all to see how government should and does work for the people. So thank you for working hard together, because this is what we stand for, and we uplift each other, especially our communities that need it the most. The pandemic certainly showed the tough times that we all go through, and certainly our working families have been going through it. So this is a huge, huge win, not only for the families, but for the small businesses that will survive and thrive because of it. And also for the opportunity for our communities to grow and see that we have real partnership all across the board. What we see, it strengthens our entire community and economy, and ensures that individuals, New Yorkers, each and one of us are given more financial opportunities. And so thank you again. This is a great victory, one of many that we're all going to have. Y pa'lante, siempre pa'lante.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It's been wonderful. And I think with that, we're ready for some Q&A.
Yes, so folks, at this time, any members of the press, please raise your hand and also indicate in the chat function whether you're asking an on or off topic question. We'll just take a few seconds to compile the queue if there are any questions.
And Jonah, we should do the on topic, and if there are no on topic, we can free up our electeds and Rosa, and I'll take the off topics, but we don't want to tire their day because they have a lot of work to do.
Yep. Sounds good. We'll just take a couple seconds.
Okay, so if we don't have
Okay,
any
yep,
topics,
seeing none. All right, thank you all so
all right.
much.
Thank you all so much, Commissioner. Thank you, excellent job. Look forward to seeing everyone out there. Let's get stuff done. Thank you.